What's up, ladies? Working on this good old clapper again today. So today, I don't know if I made it clear enough last time. I don't think I did. But apparently, the stator itself seems to be completely fine. So I'm going to go through the mess that is the wiring setup on this and see if I can find some problems, see if everything works out the way that it should. And I'll update you on the progress. Sure, I'll look back on this and it'll be a minor snag, but I mean, every single thing, I don't know. Projects, hey, trains again. Every single project, it's like, how many more weird things can there be that happen all the time? So, I'll show you what I'm mentally trying to wrap my head around right now. I mean, literally, I was sitting here working on this bike for 20 minutes. No trains. I start recording for 1 second. Making my microphone. Hello. Anyway, so check this ignition coil out. So this ignition coil, you see there's like a little connection point here, and then there's this that goes to the spark plug. So then check out this in comparison. So it says that there's a connection point and then a connection point. There's nothing there. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I wear the same outfit every single time that I'm going to work on stuff. And it may have been worn yesterday to work on stuff as well. So, whatever. We brought it inside because I was tired of just sitting and studying things while I was outside. So what I have concluded is that I think this bad boy is bad. I finally figured out how to actually test this one. So we're going to replace that. So, waiting on more parts. Okay, so it's a new day, and we got new things. Let me show you. So right here, this is a new spark plug boot and new ignition coil. And then we've got a brand new... What even is this? Oh, it's a stop button or whatever it is. Stop button. So I also happened to buy a little soldering iron and a lot of little connectors to connect all of the pieces together. So basically now is just assembly time. I'm just going to start putting stuff back together, and I'll tell you about any hiccups we run into along the way. Okay, so quick update from today. I'm fairly certain that the stator wasn't lined up correctly for the timing, because there's a little timing mark on the stator and on the case itself, which I'll show you another time. I'm just having a little bit of finicky problems today, and it's getting dark, so I'll show you more of what's happening later. But yeah, I just learned something new, that the timing comes from the position of the stator, so that's cool. Accidentally pinched an old crummy wire, and I'm gonna have to totally redo that wire, so that's a pain. I've got the new ignition coil in there. I don't even know now if that was the problem or not. Might be the crappy wiring, it might have been that, it might have been the fact that the timing was off. We're gonna find out. This is a real slow going process, I gotta tell you that. Don't mind the bus out there making all the noise and all the racket, and every time that I want to film something, there's everything going on. So I want to show you what happened to me the other day when I was working on this. So I'm pretty frustrated because I was tightening this. 1 sec. Okay, I've got to reattach these two black wires. That's one thing about this bike, is everything's so old that they're kind of brittle and stuff breaks real easy. Like it doesn't give in. Okay, well, I finally got the stator back on, and now I'm having a whole crisis wondering if if the connections are okay. Let me show you why. This cinches up real tight to the case, and the wires have to go behind there, and the wires are brittle, and one of them snapped whenever I put this on last time. So I'm having a slight crisis wondering if those wires are even gonna, like, if they're okay, or if I put them in there too tight, but seems fine. Also, one thing I wanted to point out, I hope that I can actually point to it. So if you see this line here, and then there's another slight line on the actual stator whatever thing. So those lines were not lined up at all. As you might have been able to tell, these two pieces were like this way, like that, instead of like this. So that might have been the major problem keeping this thing from running. Those two things being lined up is what makes for the timing on the bike. I was hoping to just like plop these parts on and then get all the wires wired up real easy, but nothing is easy. It's like every single day I have to like, okay, I'm gonna work on this for like an hour or two, and then it's dark and it's freezing and my hands are numb, and then the next day, okay, nibble away at it a little bit again. It's just like a labor of love for this bike. In fact, it might, now I see why people give up on projects, because I could see how this could wear on you after a while. It's like, I've already done all these little things, I've already learned all these new things, and the thing's still not working. Forget it, I'm gonna scrap it, I'm gonna throw it away, whatever. I got into a philosophical debate about what it's like to work on projects. We're finding all sorts of gems when it comes to this bike. So this little teeny thing right here is called a Woodruff key. And as you can see, there's a spindle right here, this right here, and this key is supposed to be raised above it. And then what's supposed to happen is there's a little groove. See that groove inside the flywheel there? So that key is supposed to go inside that groove, and it's inside the groove all right. There's little pieces of key inside there. Looks like the Woodruff key has been it's falling apart or something. Now I understand why they were talking about make sure that the flywheel is lined up on the Woodruff key, because there's that little notch in the back of the flywheel that it's supposed to go on there. So the whole point of that is so that the flywheel doesn't spin freely. Right now it does. So I'm going to try to look up and see how important that is, see if I need to order a new piece or whatever, because I literally have no clue how important that is. So all kinds of little wonderful things that we're getting to learn on this build. I think that's about it for today. I'll let you guys know in another video what ended up happening with that. So, okay, see ya.